Go off on.
Yeah.
Hey y'all,
Hey guys.
how are you doing? Welcome to Monday morning. Spring feels like it's coming in.
Yeah. First
I'm
day of spring.
I'm disappointed we didn't have a real winter, but I'm kind of okay with it getting warmer so I can go out and walk more.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like it tried. Last week was weird because it was like
it was
really
cold.
warm and then it got really cold, like within a day or two of each other.
Yeah, it was freezing yesterday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not freezing, just cold. Really, it was wind. It's more windy than anything.
Yeah. It's the wind that did it.
Yeah. So welcome everybody. Welcome back to Maximize Monday. Every Monday at 12 noon, we are here discussing pertinent topics. Uh, Whatever comes up. We usually don't know what we're going to talk about until we start talking. Because
Today's no different.
every time we plan, it never works out the way we think it should work out. Um, but we are in the month of March, and Easter's coming up very soon,
Yeah.
April the 9th, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we're excited because we're having our first in-person Good Friday service.
Yeah.
Um, on Good Friday, we got all our protocols still in place and all that good stuff. So we will be here uh, on Good Friday, 7 last word service. Promise not to try to keep you all night as we celebrate our first time back in the building um, for Good Friday service this year. Then, of course, Easter Sunday, one service at 11 a.m. And we're just glad about what God is going to do as we get ready to worship, as we fast during that particular time from Good Friday to Easter Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
as well as we get ready to sow our first fruits um, on Easter Sunday, our resurrection seed. Trusting and believing that God's going to move. He'll be honored and worshiped with our gifts of love and appreciation. God will begin to resurrect some things, move in our lives. Always remember, love gives and faith receives. So we give out of love, we receive by faith. I believe that's something that we, um, not to say we don't give out of faith and receive out of love, but the Bible talks so much about love being revealed in our ability to give. And as we give out of love, we also believe that God will honor that and will begin to, you know, bring it, bring a blessing into our lives to work with the first fruit and all that good stuff.
Absolutely.
Back to us. Anyway, how you
Yeah.
doing, Mike?
Good. And if I can, I just wanted to share the theme for this year is Heroes Know When to Die. Which I'm really excited for. And another thing that we'll be doing is we're encouraging everyone to dress up in their camouflage as we anticipate the word that Bishop has for us under this theme. So, like Pastor Nick said, that's all happening on April 9th, Easter Sunday at 11 a.m. And we hope that you will join us. I'm
Yep.
trying to find all my camouflage dresses and everything else that I can do to participate.
I just simply I found it's not a camouflage, but it's like a camel green, like an olive camel green shirt. It's a
Mm-hmm.
solid, because some military things are just straight up green, straight up brown. So I found
Yeah.
a nice shirt that's just kind of like an olive camel green.
Mm-hmm.
I work with that. I wanted something I'm gonna wear again. I don't usually wear fatigue.
Very true. Very true.
I don't want to spend money on something that I'm only gonna wear one time. So I found, I'm cheap. Sorry. So
Finally, he admits it.
I ain't gonna look. I ain't gonna lie. If I can't wear it more than once, I'm not trying to buy it.
Yeah.
Unless I find something that's a very good price. Hey, Kife. Hi, Kaijo. Holly, how are you, Holly?
Hi, everyone.
Welcome, Holly. um, so God bless y'all. So we do have a question before we get started, and maybe this could actually be this could be a good topic to talk about. So, Kaijo asked the question. I have a question. I was reading over my Bible verses and wondering, out of all the disciples, what was it about Judas that Satan was able to get to his heart and get him to betray? What's wrong today? Betray Jesus. Could you answer this? Why Judas? Well,
Great question.
few ways we can answer this question. First off, without getting too complex and into the weeds, I don't like some branches of Christianity believe that God has chosen some for heaven and the rest are basically doomed to go to hell because they weren't chosen by God. I don't believe in that. I do believe that God gives people choices and he also understands how he works. So when the Bible says that God hardened Pharaoh's heart, did God actually harden his heart? No, God didn't harden Pharaoh's heart so he couldn't listen. Pharaoh's heart was already jacked up already. And God gave him a choice each time.
Mm-hmm.
And every time he rejected that choice, his heart got hardened. So it's not like God doomed Pharaoh to, this destruction. When it talks about God hardening his heart, is God put him in, he was in a position where he knew he was going to reject him anyway. He was asking for stuff that he knew Pharaoh was going to completely let go, and it continued to harden his heart over time. I don't believe that God dooms people to hell and only elects some to salvation. He would that all would be saved, all would know him. I can go to more detail, but I don't time to go into the whole doctrine of election, choice, and all that stuff. But there was this promise of this betrayal. And when you notice Jesus, I believe in Luke's version, when Jesus chooses the 12, it says, "And Judas, the one that would betray him." Right? So a part of that was to fulfill prophecy. You don't choose your own Judas. It's foolish. You don't choose somebody and you be close to that you know is going to betray you and hurt you. That was a fulfillment of prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, was Judas doomed? Now, there could be some controversy about this. I'm just telling you my opinion. I believe that Judas could have chosen another way, but he chose not to. There was a thief in Judas, the deceptive side of Judas's heart that made him open to that level of betrayal. Because all of the disciples at one point in time, either left him at the crucifixion or thought about walking away. Jesus says, "One of y'all gonna betray me." They're all like, "Who you talking about? Which one?" Judas, the Bible says, the heart was already there. He already went to, when he was stealing the money. And you see this. It's interesting. I'm sorry, Ma. I'm just.
No, you're good. You're good.
I know you're happy I'm talking. You ain't got to say nothing.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I'm willing to be, somebody come at me on this, but Judas was stealing money from Jesus, right? One time, when the woman comes and breaks the alabaster box, Judas says, he tries to get altruistic. Why are we wasting this perfume? And we could have sold it and given it away to the poor. And Judas was not interested in giving that money away to the poor. He wanted it for himself.
Mm-hmm. Jesus
corrects him. So Judas has an issue of not being able to manage offense, right? He can handle correction. Judas is somebody that you love, right? Somebody you let in, but they don't allow themselves to be. Wise people will allow themselves to be corrected, be upset, but still not betray you at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Judas, on the other hand, is so sensitive to rejection and so sensitive to correction, they find it offensive. Often because you call them out on their wrong, and they're mad that you're calling them out on what they're already wrong about.
Mm-hmm.
So, there was already a thief in Judas. There was already this offensive thing in Judas. There was already this thing in him that made him open to this deception. So he goes to the chief priests in them and says, "Yo, I can betray him," etc., etc. And they get to one point, and Jesus says at the table, "What you going to go do? Go do it quickly." And Satan enters into his heart, the Bible says, and Judas goes to betray Jesus. Again, my belief is that Judas was open to it, which allowed Satan to come in and do his thing. It's not that Satan was controlling him, but the influence was there. For instance, in Corinthians, where it says that Satan has blinded the eyes of men,
mm-hmm.
I think another reading of that is not that people can't believe because Satan blinds their eyes, The reason they can't believe, reason why their eyes are blinded is because they don't believe. Our unbelief will give him permission to blind us from something. Satan can only work in you if you allow him to.
Yeah.
We're not robots. We have free will. We have free choice. God's not going to make you betray him. You know, a lot of it is unresolved issues. And Judas was transactional. He was opportunistic. What he wanted was more important than what everybody else wanted. His desires are more important than, Jesus at the moment. And an opportunity, as Bishop says, an opportunity creates a thief. Opportunity creates an opportunity comes your way, and it can create a thief inside of you. So that's my belief about Judas. We could be more complex in the whole calling and election thing and the doctrine of all that, but we don't really have time to go into that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, a Judas is a Judas before they betray you.
Yeah.
And the Bible does say in Psalms, the one that betrays me is my close friend. Somebody that I allowed in close eventually found this opportunity because they were offended by something, didn't like something, or because their desire, their greed for a thing, they see people as transaction.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you don't choose your Judas, but everybody will encounter one along the way. But Judas's role is to take you further into the kingdom. And then last point on this, and then you can speak your piece on this, is that the temptation is to allow a betrayal by Judas to cause you to shut down to everybody else.
Mm.
And it's so easy to be hurt by one person significant that you find it hard to open up to other people.
Mm-hmm.
Because you think if this person did it, that what makes everybody else incapable, it makes everybody else capable of doing the same.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're walking around skeptical all day. One, is this person going to hurt you? This is going to betray you? Because if this person did it, anybody else can do it. When the reality is it was just that person. Jesus didn't shut down from the world because of what Judas did. He stayed open to other people, even though Judas betrayed him. And we have to learn to refrain from allowing the pain of one person to cause us to shut down on everybody else. Because then we make other people pay for what one person did.
Yeah.
And then while we're trying to shut down the risk of being hurt by one person, we also shut down all of the joy that somebody else can bring into our lives.
Mm-hmm.
One person can bring in pain, somebody else can come bring in joy. And that's a part of life. And it's a long way around to answer that question. But there you go. That's my thoughts. It
was a good answer and a great question. Because like you said, it really comes down to what his heart posture was and what his true incentives were into things. And like you said, Judas was for Jesus. We don't have to accept our Judases into our lives. And I think that's something even for myself that I've had to be mindful of, who am I allowing to be in my corner? Who am I allowing into my space? Because I'm a firm believer that, when we connect ourselves with people, a little bit of them rubs off on us as we rub off on them too, right? And so just really being mindful of who I'm keeping in my corner and what their heart posture is. Do they truly have a heart for God?
Mm-hmm.
Do they not? So being mindful of that, but also, like you said, one bad apple doesn't ruin the bunch, right? And it's easy to kind of get into that cycle of, oh, all these guys are the same or whatever. You can't close yourself off to what could be something that is ordained or destined by God to help lead you to a greater purpose.
Yeah. So I mean, it's challenging. However, it's doable. I remember Bishop said to me years ago when I first started on staff, he basically said that you can't allow I'm paraphrasing, of course, you can't allow the wounds, you can't allow the pain that people bring into your life, I'm paraphrasing, to color your lens, to basically dictate how you see the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happens. Somebody hurts you, it kind of like you wearing glasses, it can color your lens some. And now you see everything through that pain.
Mm-hmm.
You think everybody else is going to do the same thing. And it's hard.
Yeah.
Because if you're not careful, life will make you dislike people. Because of what a few people did.
Yeah.
And then again, like you said, we'll judge the whole based off of a few. In Judas, oftentimes, you don't always see it coming sometimes because you're good to the person.
Mm.
And sometimes I think we have a tendency to refuse to be honest about people that we love. I love this person,
Mm-hmm.
but they also have this side to them.
Yeah.
And what it shows us is what a person is capable of. Now, let's not get down into the weeds in this, but something I was thinking about, I think when I was driving the other day, I don't remember. A good person can do bad things.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, they're a great person, but they can do bad things at times.
Mm-hmm.
A bad person can sometimes do good things.
Absolutely.
And then this is the crazy thing. We judge the whole of the good person by the few mistakes they made,
Mm-hmm.
but then judge the bad person by the good things that they do.
Mm.
Oh, they're not that bad because they did X, Y, and Z. They did 50 things crazy, 5 things good, and we pay attention to the 5 and ignore the 45.
Mm.
A good person would do 50 things right, 5 things wrong. We'll say, see, I knew I couldn't. They did these 5 things and completely ignore all the 45, not to excuse the 5.
Right.
But you see how our thought automatically goes towards justifying the good and bad people.
Yeah.
And then trying to hold on to the bad and the good person.
Right.
We don't give people the time to see is this person a wheat or a tater?
Mm-hmm.
They both look the same. Is this person good for me, or is this person bad for me? And only time will really tell, which is why it's important to take your time.
Mm.
And give grace to good people, but also be aware of what they're capable of and keep that in your mind.
Yeah.
Because that capability shouldn't rule your life. It just should give you some understanding that this person that I thought was this is capable of this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that was
no, it's very true. And I think circumstances, definitely come into play, but I think it also requires some introspection into, okay, what is it about me that is being drawn to this person, seeing the bad things and being able to justify it?
Mm-hmm.
Where is it that I can align myself with them? Is that something that needs to be addressed in my own life?
Yeah.
Because I think too, like you said, we can put on those rose-colored glasses and see the good, or negate the bad that you see them doing to other people.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it comes down to yourself, it's World War III. I didn't know they were like this. How could they?
They did it to everybody else.
Had your glasses on.
Yeah.
So
what crazy thing. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, what was it about yourself that made it okay then?
Mm-hmm. We had that crazy thing of thinking they did it to everybody else, but there's something so special about me, they'll never do it to me.
Mm-hmm.
But you saw them do it to everybody else. The other thing I think, I'm glad you brought it up, is about what's in us. I know people who gravitate towards the worst because that's how they feel about themselves.
Mm.
So they feel like the outcast. They feel like the black sheep. They feel like so-and-so. So they gravitate towards those same type of people to justify something about them.
Mm-hmm.
Never asking the question, if this person's the black sheep of the family, why are they the black sheep of the family? Maybe there's a reason why.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to go out with this person or hang out with this person. But no, no. If everybody feels the same way about this individual, it can't be everybody. But sometimes because we feel bad about us, we go towards those people to try to find some justification in us.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that you got to discard everybody or not be nice to everybody.
Right.
But what's in us that keeps us going towards those people? Why are all these relationships always failing? It can't be everybody else. It's got to be something in us.
Yeah.
But life will teach you a lot about people if you pay attention. And some of it's disappointing. Some of it's disappointing. And again, it's not that you become super skeptical of everybody or afraid, but every relationship goes through ups and downs. Some you got to disconnect from. And people grow, people evolve, people change.
Yeah.
And we got to give people the space to not justifying wrong, not saying that, but all I'm saying is people reveal themselves, and that tells you how you need to respond to who they are.
Mm-hmm.
You don't trust me like that? Not really, because of X, Y, and Z. You showed me what you're capable of.
Yeah.
It happens. Growing up, I was talking to my cousin while we're away. She's grown now. And I said, sometimes being an adult stinks, doesn't it? She's like,
yes.
I was like,
these kids do not know.
I don't know. She's in her early 20s. I said, being an adult stinks. Sometimes you like the freedom of it, but everything that comes along with it.
Mm-hmm.
Things become more important. Ramifications are bigger. You start paying attention to stuff, and it's not always as easy. Becoming more aware of the world.
Yeah.
As it really is. Woo!
Yeah. No, it really makes you think. And, sometimes still trying to find forgiveness in all of this. That could be a challenge too.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be a hard thing to deal with, especially when, that's what we're called to do, is be able to forgive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Not forget.
Yep. Forgive.
Forgive.
Well, forgive. What we want to do is we want to mess up and expect the person to completely just trust us all over again, act like everything is fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at that point in my life now where it's not fine. I'll be nice, but don't act like we're all great friends if you know we're not. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't have to do that with me. I'm crazy enough now. I'm old enough now. I'm like, you don't have to do. You don't have to do that. Don't. Just keep it where it is. Let's be cordial, but don't act like this is more than what it is, because it's not.
Mm-hmm. Keep it real.
Keep it real.
Yeah.
You can't treat people wrong and then think everybody's going to be completely. Well, some people are used to that. They're used to people ignoring their behavior, ignoring what they do, and act like everything's okay. So they try to. They know they're wrong, but they just act like it never happened. And what do? We enable that by acting like it never happened too.
Mm-hmm.
I say you don't forgive or move on, but no, this did happen. Oh, we so close? No, we not. We got to talk first.
And I'm realizing people don't do that. People don't talk. They don't talk about these things. Like you said, they skirt it under the rug, or because they don't like the confrontation. But both my parents are counselors, so I grew up having to talk about like the hard stuff, and my friends don't necessarily always like that. But I'm like, we have to talk about this, because if we don't, we're not going to be able to move on. And whether it be, move on, we can still be friends, or move on, and like you said, hi and bye, things aren't going to be the same. It's okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's hard, because people just want to act like it didn't happen. Let's bury it. Let's move on. I hate that. Let's just move on. No, let's not just move on. We got to deal with this first. But people just want you to. But you know what's crazy? They usually want you to move on when they're in the wrong. But when you're wrong, they don't want to just move on. We got to talk about this. I need time. I need space. I need to heal. They want all when they're the ones that got hurt. They throw this whole dramatic thing.
Yeah.
But when they're the guilty ones, I said I'm sorry. Let's move on. It ain't that deep. And just. But when you hurt them, it's like the end of the world. They don't know what to do and just. No.
Have you? Well, imagine you've never seen America's Next Top Model with Tyra Banks, but I just had her. I rooted for you. I rooted for you.
I know. Wasn't she mean on that show?
Huh?
Wasn't she mean on that show? Model reports and stuff.
I don't know. I mean,
I never watched this. So I don't know. All those reports came out. She was so mean. She was so this. She was so that.
For that one situation, though, she was valid.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't watch it, so I really can't ask the question. Okay. It was 12:27. Yeah, that's the other thing. But you're a Christian. You're supposed to forgive. I did forgive you. Don't mean we gotta be friends again. Being a Christian doesn't mean being unwise and foolish. I'm sorry.
And maybe this is part of the problem, is that some people think forgiveness means that we're supposed to repeat cycles. No.
I can forgive you and still not trust you.
Yep.
I can forgive you and we not have a relationship restored. The two are completely different. I can forgive you, completely move on with my life.
You're okay with it. Yeah.
Anywho, it's 12:28, so don't forget. What's tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night should be Link Couples. Yep.
Who's doing that tomorrow?
So we are with Pastor Corey Grice and his wife, who's have a great message for us. And then on Wednesday nights, Bible study. We've been talking about purpose and leverage and all that good stuff. So if you haven't been paying attention to Bible study, definitely make sure that you join us in person if you're in the area. But if not, we're definitely streaming it online as well because I've learned a lot from these messages. So I know that you guys will too. And then Saturday on Point Radio, Pastor Nick, Bishop, and the full day of worship on Sunday with our virtual online service at 8 a.m. and then in person at 11.
Cool. All righty. Thank you all for joining us. We'll be back next Monday.
Do you want to share a little bit about the Catch a Fire Drive real quick?
Yes. So the month of March, we are collecting homeless supplies, new gently used coats, hats, gloves, as well as toiletries like, toothpaste, toothbrush, deodorant, all that stuff, socks, all those things. Make sure the socks are new. We don't want to use socks. That's nasty.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just.
That's real.
But we're collecting those things to give out to the homeless. We'll give it away next month of April, but we take the whole month of March, collect these items, and then we give them away to some shelters in the month of April, especially as being on a Lenten fast. Part of fasting is being a blessing to people, serving the community, helping those in a time of need. So that's what we're trusting God to help us do during this particular time frame. So you can come to the church, drop them off in the bins, or you can give on our website, on whatever platform you give on, click Catch the Fire, and we'll go out and we'll buy the items for you. All right?
All righty.
If all hearts and minds are clear, we will see y'all next Monday for another Next Monday, 12 o'clock.